Hey, it's Rob at Man Sewing. Are you ready for another quick tip? I am. Hey, I wonder if you struggle as much as I do sometimes doing mitered corners. And these are not mitered corners for your binding. These are mitered corners right within your block or within your piecing work. Well, my friend Jan taught me years ago what I think has got to be the simplest way to do mitered corners. And you don't need to know much, but there is one tip. Now, I've prepared 3 of my 4 sides for you already. In a moment, I'm going to sew on this 2.5 inch wide strip. But what I'm doing is I'm leaving these longer tails. And with these longer tails, you can see them really good like this too. With these longer tails, you want the tail to be roughly twice as long as you are wide. So, for example, if this is 2.5, a 5-inch tail is going to be really terrific because down the road, I'm going to show you how to fold, pin, and then stitch for your mitered corner. We don't have to do any other tricks than that. But really quick, I'm going to go ahead and take my 2.5 inch strip and I'm going to sew this on. And as I sew it on with my right sides together, I'm going to give myself a 1/4 inch starting place. You know what? It might be easier again if I show you right here. So with this, I've got my 1/4 inch from one side and I'll sew to the end and I'll have a 1/4 inch from the other side. So I'm starting with a 1/4 inch into the project already, and I'm going to do a back stitch there. Okay, couple stitches, back stitch. And I do want you to back stitch there because you're going to be pulling on the fabric a little bit. Slow down as you get to the end. And we're going to back stitch again, just like that. Super easy. Now, here comes the rest of the magic, right? What I want us to do is we're going to press out that new border we just put on first. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply take and turn it underneath itself. If you've done mitered binding, it's very similar reverse fold. And then what I'm going to do, see how those line up really perfectly right along that seam there? Both of those tails line up. Then I'm going to go ahead and press that crease. That crease is going to become my seam line. And then I'm going to take one straight pin and I'm going to pin together away from the stitching line, but with enough grab that things aren't going to move. Gently fold this back. Then I start back at those corners and I'm going to stitch right up that pressed line. Gravy, just like that. Pull your pin out and then you're going to give a visual check before you cut, because if you didn't like the way it finished out, you would want to take that thread back out and do it again. And when I say you wouldn't like the way it finished out, I've done this with really intense stripes and you can get those things perfect, but you want to make sure they're just the way you want them before you cut, because the last step is to open this up, grab yourself a ruler, give yourself about a 1/4 inch seam allowance, cut it like that. Put it right down there for you to see. So that's the mitered corner. Quick, simple, easy. And that's what it looks like when it's all done there for you. So mitered corners couldn't be any easier than that, but thank you for joining me for a quick tip right here at Man Sewing.